Hou shoots the suns.
后羿射日。
Hello everyone and welcome back. What would you do if the sky had 10 suns? Not 1. 10. All blazing at the same time. That is the world of Hou shoots the suns. It is a story from ancient China. It is a story about courage. It is a story about standing up when no one else can. Long ago the world was a good place. People farmed the land. They raised their children. They lived simple and peaceful lives. The seasons came and went. Rain fell when it should. Rivers ran clear and cool. The earth was kind to its people. Then something changed. It changed everything. It changed forever. In those days there were 10 suns. They were not like our sun. They were brothers. They lived in a giant tree far in the east. That tree was called the mulberry tree. Every morning one sun would rise. It would cross the sky alone. It would bring light and warmth. It would set in the west. Then it would rest. The next day another brother would take his turn. That was the rule. That was the order of heaven. One sun each day. No more. No less. The people were happy with this. The crops grew tall and green. The rivers flowed with fresh water. The animals were calm and gentle. Life was good. But the 10 sons were young. They were bored. They were tired of taking turns. They wanted to have fun. They wanted to play together. They wanted to see what would happen. One terrible morning they made a choice. They all rose into the sky at once. 10 suns. All shining. All burning. All at the same time. At first the people looked up in wonder. They had never seen such a sight. The sky was so bright. It was almost beautiful. But then the heat came. It came fast. It came hard. It came without mercy. The rivers began to shrink. They turned into small streams. Then those streams became dry cracks in the earth. The lakes boiled away into nothing. The plants withered and turned brown. They crumbled into dust. The crops that fed the villages were gone. The trees lost their leaves. They stood like skeletons on the hills. The animals could find no water. They could find no shade. They fell to the ground one by one. The people hid in their homes. They closed their doors and windows. But the heat found them. It seeped through every crack. It burned their skin. It stole their breath. Children cried. Old people could not move. Strong men fell to their knees. The world was dying. The world was burning alive. No one knew what to do. The elders gathered in the village square. They looked at the sky. They shook their heads. They had no answers. Some people prayed to the gods. But the gods were silent. Some people wept and held each other. But tears could not bring back the rain. Some people gave up hope. They lay down and waited for the end. The 10 suns laughed high above. They did not care. They were having too much fun. They did not see the pain below. They did not hear the cries. They just kept burning and burning. But there was one man. One man who refused to give up. His name was Ho'y. Ho'y was a great archer. No one in the land could match his skill. He had strong arms and steady hands. He could hit a target from very far away. He could shoot a flying bird from the sky. His bow was made from the finest wood. His arrows flew true and fast. But Ho'y was more than just a strong man. He had a good heart. He loved his people. He could not stand to see them suffer. Every day he watched the world grow darker and hotter. Every night he heard the sounds of pain and fear. He knew something had to be done. He knew someone had to act. He decided that someone would be him. Ho'y took his great bow. He took his sharpest arrows. He climbed the highest mountain in the land. That mountain was Kunlun. It reached up to the clouds. It touched the edge of the sky. The climb was long and hard. The rocks were hot from the suns above. His feet burned with every step. Sweat poured down his face. His lungs cried out for cool air. But he did not stop. He could not stop. He climbed and climbed. Higher and higher. Closer and closer to the burning sky. At last he stood at the peak. The wind was hot and dry. The world below looked small and broken. Above him the 10 suns blazed without mercy. They did not notice him at first. They were too busy laughing and playing. Ho'y looked at them with steady eyes. He raised his bow. He pulled back the string. He took a deep breath. He aimed at the first sun. He let the arrow fly. It cut through the sky like a streak of light. It struck the sun with a mighty crash. The sun screamed. It burst into a ball of fire. It fell from the sky and was gone. The people below looked up. They saw one light go out. They could not believe their eyes. The other sons did not understand. They stopped their playing for a moment. They looked around in confusion. Where had their brother gone? Ho'y did not wait. He pulled another arrow from his back. He aimed at the second sun. The string snapped forward. The arrow flew straight and true. Another sun fell. Another burst of fire. Another scream that faded into silence. Now the suns knew they were in danger. They tried to scatter. They tried to hide behind each other. But Hoey was too fast. He was too skilled. He had come too far to stop now. Arrow after arrow flew from his bow. Sun after sun fell from the sky. 3 suns gone. 4 suns gone. 5 suns gone. The world grew a little darker. The heat grew a little less. The people dared to step outside their homes. They watched the sky with wide eyes. They saw a man standing on the mountain. They saw him fighting for their lives. 6 suns gone. 7 suns gone. 8 suns gone. Each arrow found its mark. Each sun burst and fell. The ground was littered with their fiery remains. But there were still 2 suns left. The 9th sun tried to flee. It raced across the sky in terror. But Hoey was patient. He followed its path with his eyes. He waited for the perfect moment. Then he released his arrow. It flew faster than any bird. It struck the 9th sun in its center. The sun exploded into a million sparks. It was gone. Only 1 sun remained. Hoey raised his bow one more time. He aimed at the final sun. His fingers tightened on the string. The people below held their breath. If he shot this sun, the world would be dark forever. No light. No warmth. No life. Hoey paused. He looked at the last sun. The sun trembled in the sky. It did not run. It did not laugh. It was afraid. It knew it had done wrong. It knew it had caused great pain. A wise man among the people shouted from below. Stop. Leave 1 sun. We need light to grow our food. We need warmth to live. Hoey heard the voice. He lowered his bow slowly. He nodded. He knew it was the right choice. He called out to the last sun. You will rise alone. You will set alone. You will bring light to the world. You will give warmth to the people. But you will never bring your brothers back. You will follow this rule forever. The sun agreed. It promised to obey. It promised to rise each morning and set each evening. It promised to never harm the earth again. Hoey put down his bow. The sky was clear and blue. The air grew cool and fresh. Rain began to fall on the dry land. The rivers filled with water again. The plants pushed up from the soil. The animals came out from their hiding places. The people fell to their knees and wept with joy. They were saved. They were alive. They owed their lives to one man. They owed their lives to Ho'ī. The people celebrated for many days. They sang songs about Ho'ī. They told stories about his great deeds. They called him a hero. They called him a savior. They brought him gifts of food and drink. They bowed before him with gratitude and love. Young men wanted to be like him. They wanted to learn the way of the bow. They came from far away to study under him. Ho'ī was humble. He did not seek fame or power. He only wanted to protect the people he loved. He had done what needed to be done. Nothing more. Nothing less. That is the story of Ho'ī and the 10 sons. But the story does not end there. It never ends there. Because what Ho'ī did was not just about shooting arrows. It was about something deeper. It was about seeing a problem that no one else could fix. It was about having the courage to step forward. It was about taking action when others stood still. It was about not giving up even when the world was burning. We all have sons in our lives. Not real sons, of course. But things that feel too big to handle. Problems that seem impossible to solve. Moments when everything feels too hot and too hard. In those moments, think of Ho'ī. Think of a man standing on a mountain alone. Think of a man facing 10 burning suns. He did not have a plan at first. He did not know if he would succeed. He only knew he had to try. That is the lesson of this story. Courage is not about having no fear. Courage is about acting even when you are afraid. Courage is about climbing the mountain anyway. Courage is about pulling back the bowstring. Courage is about letting the arrow fly. One person can make a difference. One person can change everything. One person can save the world. That person can be you. That person can be me. That person can be anyone who chooses to stand up. So next time you face your own burning suns, remember Ho'ī. Take a deep breath. Climb your mountain. And shoot your arrow. Thank you for listening to this story. If you enjoyed it, please like and subscribe to the channel. Leave a comment below and tell me what story you want to hear next. I will see you in the next one. Take care and keep learning. Your journey with English is just beginning. And every story brings you one step closer. One step closer to understanding. One step closer to speaking with confidence. One step closer to a world without limits. Keep going. Keep growing. Keep believing in yourself. Just like Ho'ī believed he could save his people. You can achieve anything you set your mind to. One word at a time. One story at a time. One day at a time. That is how legends are made. That is how you write your own story. See you soon.
下集请移步主页观看。